Hi, everybody. So I know after our last 4th and 5th month grieving update, everyone has been pretty worried and reaching out to me privately and as well as our YouTube comments. So I wanted to do a 6 and 7 months update for the future adoptive parents and to see what has changed, okay? I think 2 months or three months of grieving update, I had mentioned that I had seeked out an adoption counselor, and she said, give it 6 months and see how it goes, that you will see a pretty big difference, or at least you will see some difference when 6 months rolls around. I did not really see much difference until more like 7 months, end of 7 months. And some things that did improve was, number one was diaper changing. You know, I told you due to food obsession that he's eating constantly throughout the day. He's pooping like around 7 to 10 times a day. So that's just poopy diaper. And of course, because he's eating so much, he gets thirsty, so he's drinking water all the time too. And so we are literally going through about 17 to 20 diapers a day. And it was so challenging changing his diaper, especially poopy diapers, because you have to hold the legs up and then wipe with the right hand. But as I'm doing that, he's kicking his legs, screaming, you know, his body's just going all over, poop is flying all over, and I'm trying to control his feet with my left hand, but like my left hand is going all over too. And at the same time, he will be screaming for more food. And honestly, after months of that, I did get very exasperated, because it was like, okay, Levi, if I don't mind if you have to eat or ask for food, but at least when I'm changing your diaper, stay still, because it is it's a struggle for me, physical struggle for me, okay? Come 7 months, end of 7 months, he stopped doing that. I would say, Levi, okay, did you poop? You know, can you bring me a diaper? And then he'll bring his diaper, just lay calmly in front of me, and then say to me, are you going to change my poopy diaper? So that has been a huge improvement, at least for me. Now, by end of 7 months, he's pooping about 3 to 4 times a day, which is a big improvement from 7 to 10 times a day. Even 3 to 4 times is still more than, you know, other children at this time, but still, it is a huge improvement. For food obsession wise, when he first came, he was coming to me every 2 minutes or so asking for food. He would never focus when he's playing, because his whole attention will be in the kitchen. Who is going in the kitchen now? Is mom going in the kitchen? What is she touching? What is she making? You know, and then he'll just be all over the kitchen, all over the dining room every 2 minutes. By end of 7 months, oh, and by the way, during that time, if I didn't give in to him, if I would say, Levi, you just ate, so, you know, let's give a couple more minutes and, you know, eat, he will get very upset, you know, scream, cry, hit, kick, he'll do whatever. But come end of 7 months, if I would say, Levi, you know, just wait a couple minutes, we're going to have dinner or we're going to have lunch, he'll grunt and he might be like, no. But then he will just walk away instead of throwing major tantrum. He will throw some tantrum, but it's not like as bad as it was before. And also for food obsession, still during this time, if he sees any food or if he sees any food lying about or he sees anybody eating, he will want it instantly. He will be the first, like when he wakes up, the first thing he does is he doesn't greet anyone. He goes straight to his high chair and he climbs up. So there's still food obsession, and he is still asking for food, you know, rather a lot, but it's not as frequent. And I've noticed that during meal times too, by end of 7 months, before he was eating about 4 times more than his brothers during meal times, but now he'll eat about 2 times more than his brothers. And sometimes if it's like food that he really likes, he'll still eat about three portion, you know, than his brothers. But definitely his portion is more stabilizing as kind of his brothers. For sleep improvement, I think I told you when he first came, it was 50 times a night waking up. And it went down to like about 8 times. And then by end of month 7, he's waking up about 3 times a night. So that is also a huge improvement. 3 times a night is still, I still don't get much sleep, but still it's much better than what it was before. So the defiance, we had been dealing with so much of defiance and anger. If we tell him, Levi, don't do that. Like, don't go in the toilet. Don't. By the way, I read so many comments where people are like, hey, there's a toilet lock. There is a toilet lock. Yes, I do know that. But when Levi came, that's when Ezra had decided himself that he was going to start potty training. And so if we put a toilet lock or, close a bathroom door, there was no way for Levi or for Ezra to get into it. And then, we would have accidents. So that was kind of, unfortunate that it all happened during that time. So that wasn't an option for us. So for defiance, before, if me or David would say, Levi, don't do this, he would not care. He would just go right at it again and again and again. By end of 7 months, if I said, Levi, no, then at least he would stall for a couple minutes. I mean, he would do it again, but he would at least show a little bit of remorse, okay? And wait a couple minutes. So where he is constantly destroying things around the house, like going up taking the chairs or step stool from place to place and then climbing up higher and then throwing things down or just constantly destroying things around the house. That has improved by end of 7 months, maybe about 30 to 40%. So not a lot, not a huge lot, but still some improvement there too. Also, when he first came, he wasn't really playing with Seth and Ezra because, he would play with them maybe like couple seconds and then he would run in the kitchen or he would just go somewhere else and destroy stuff. So every couple seconds he's moving and destroying or eating or, it's just one of this. And then he will run back to his brothers. He'll be with them like 3-4 seconds and then he runs off again doing this all over, nonstop, all day long. Now, by end of 7 months, anywhere between 20 to 25 minutes, he will sit with them and focus and play with them. But at any point in time, if he sees me going in the kitchen, then he will immediately get up and follow me in the kitchen and ask me, like, is it time to eat? Like, what are you eating? What is that? Constantly asking questions like that. Also, one big improvement on food obsession was, there's children's book with pictures of like fruits, like B is for banana, A is for apple. And anytime he sees that, he saw that before, he would go nuts. He would just like go in the kitchen and tear the whole kitchen apart till he found the banana and apple and just sit there and eat like 4 or 5 of them in one sitting, if not more sometimes. But now he will actually bring the book and he'll point to it and say apple, banana, and then he'll just be like, yum, 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 yum. But he won't, tear anything in the kitchen. So that is also a huge improvement because there was a point in time where I refused to go through any food picture books with him because it would just bring so much food obsession in, and yeah, the tantrum after tantrum was terrible. So now it's getting somewhat better. Before, when we went out to the tennis courts, we would go there every morning, or sometimes when David would come home from work after dinner, we would go to tennis court and play. And Levi would never play happily for more than couple minutes. Like not more than 3 minutes. Like he would just kind of just stand there, and not like other kids are actively playing, and he would just ask for food. Or just be like, and he'll just stand there and not, play happily. Like the playing happily was, I told you, like 2 to 3 minutes at max. But I've noticed end of 7 months, when I take them to the tennis court after breakfast, he will play somewhat happily with Seth and Ezra for about 20 to 25 minutes. And so that has also been a huge improvement. He will still come and ask for food, but I see difference there too. So, a lot of adoptive parents have told me this, but I've also noticed that it is a 1 step forward and 3 step backwards. So anytime you feel like there is an improvement, like the next day you see 3 step backward. So it's very hard to gauge, the improvement, but it is getting better at a very, very slow rate. And what I'm also finding out that this whole trauma and grieving is kind of like an onion. You peel one layer and you're like, oh, finally we're over this. Like finally we can have a normal life. And then the next peel, there's more layer to peel, and then next peel. So from up until the moment he arrived to our house till end of 7 months, I am seeing about 30, if not 35% improvement in different areas. Some areas a little more, some areas a little less, but I would say about 30% improvement. But, I am telling you these are some improvements that I've been seeing by end of 7 months. But if physical improvements it's been there, like destroying stuff or, staying still when I'm changing his poopy diaper, as that is decreasing, what has been increasing is this mental, emotional, the trauma and grieving. So, you're finally like, wow, I can finally just only wake up 3 times a night. But then now mental and emotional issues have been just really coming out even, much more than the first couple months. So on the next episode of 8 and 9 months update, I'll share those, our second layer of the onion process. So I hope this helps.